Your city has 48 hours of gasoline left, not because of a war, not because of a collapse, just because the trucks stopped coming. And most people won't even notice until it's too late. Gas stations don't store much fuel. Most have 3 to 5 days of supply under normal demand. But when people panic, that window closes to 48 hours. This isn't theory. It happened in the 2021 Colonial Pipeline shutdown, and it will happen again. This is a real-time breakdown of what happens in your city when the gas supply stops. Not a fantasy, not a movie, just the cold mechanics of how infrastructure adjusts and what you can actually do when it does. Hour 0 to 12, the quiet phase. Most people don't know yet. Stations are still selling gas, pumps are working, but behind the scenes, the supply chain has already broken. Fuel distributors know, city managers know, but the public doesn't because no one wants to trigger a rush. This is the window of opportunity. The people who prepare now are the ones who stay mobile later. Hour 12 to 24, the rumor spreads. A post goes viral, a news alert drops, someone shares a picture of an empty pump. Within 2 hours, demand triples. Lines form, stations start limiting purchases, some run dry by evening. Here's what most people miss. It's not about running out of gas, it's about running out of access. Hour 24 to 36, the cascade begins. By now, half the stations are dry. The other half have lines wrapping around blocks. People are topping off out of fear, which drains supply even faster. Delivery trucks can't refuel. Ambulances start rationing trips. Ride shares go offline. Grocery restocks get delayed. This is where the city starts to feel different. Here's the truth no one talks about. Your preparedness doesn't matter if your neighbor panics, because when they rush the pumps, they take your supply with them. Hour 36 to 48, the adaptation. Now the city reorganizes, not collapse, adaptation. People carpool, they work from home, transit systems get crowded, delivery services prioritize medical and food. Most people are fine. Frustrated, yes. Inconvenienced, absolutely. But fine. The ones who struggle, those who didn't plan and now can't get to work, can't get medicine, can't get food for 3 days.
Real-world example, Atlanta, 2008. When a pipeline ruptured in Alabama, Atlanta lost fuel for a week. Stations ran dry, prices spiked, but the city didn't collapse. People adapted. They stayed home. They shared rides. They used what they had. The lesson? Resilience isn't about stockpiling everything. It's about reducing dependency on everything. What actually breaks first? People think gas shortages mean cars stop, but the real impact hits logistics. Hospitals face delayed deliveries. Pharmacies experience prescription refill delays. Grocery stores can't restock fresh food because the refrigerated trucks are sitting idle. This is the invisible breakdown. You don't see it until you walk into a store and the shelves are thinner than yesterday. The 72-hour rule. Most cities operate on a 3-day buffer. That's how long the average supermarket can survive without resupply. When gas stops, that buffer compresses, not because supply vanishes, but because distribution halts. The milk doesn't spoil in a warehouse, it just never makes it to your block. The price spike trap. When gas gets scarce, prices surge. That's not greed, it's market signaling. High prices do two things. They discourage waste and they prioritize need. The people who rage about price gouging, they're missing the point. Expensive gas is better than no gas, because expensive gas still moves ambulances, still powers generators, still keeps the system limping forward. The EV advantage and weakness. Electric vehicles seem immune to a gas crisis, and they are until the power grid gets stressed. When fuel shortages hit, power plants that run on diesel start struggling. Rolling blackouts become possible. Suddenly, your EV advantage shrinks. The takeaway? Diversify energy access. If you rely entirely on one system, gas, electric, public transit, you're vulnerable. The people who stay mobile have options. The commute privilege. If you live 10 miles from work, a gas shortage is an inconvenience. If you live 40 miles out, it's a crisis. Urban density isn't just about housing costs, it's about resilience. The closer you are to essentials, the less you depend on fuel to survive. This is why suburban sprawl isn't just an environmental problem, it's a logistical vulnerability. Here's a quiet truth. Most households don't have much buffer. A fuel shortage doesn't create instability, it just reveals where it already existed.
Why people panic buy. It's not stupidity, it's game theory. If you believe others will hoard, you have to hoard, or you lose. This is called a coordination failure, and it's why rational people do irrational things. The solution? Public communication. When authorities say, "We have supply coming," and people believe them, panic stops. But when trust is low, the rush becomes self-fulfilling. The social fabric test. A gas shortage is a trust stress test. Do neighbors share rides? Do local businesses offer flexibility? Do community groups organize carpool networks? In tight-knit communities, the answer is yes. In disconnected suburbs, people fend for themselves, and the friction shows. This is why social capital matters. It's not about being friendly, it's about having functional relationships when systems get strained. Micro example: the 1973 oil crisis. When OPEC cut oil exports, the US faced massive shortages. Stations closed, lines stretched for blocks. Some states implemented odd-even rationing. Your license plate determined which days you could buy gas. But society didn't collapse. People carpooled, they drove less, they adapted. The economy took a hit, inflation spiked, but life continued because humans are adaptable when they have to be. What you actually do. Don't wait for the alert. Keep your tank above half, always. That's not prepping, that's basic risk management. Store 5 gallons in a proper container, rotated every 6 months. That's enough to get you 100 miles, which is enough to leave, restock, or wait it out. Have a backup plan for work. Know your walking distance to essentials. Keep $100 in cash, because pumps go offline when payment systems fail. And here's the one most people ignore. Know your neighbors. In a fuel shortage, the people who stay calm and coordinate are the ones who stay ahead. Hour 48, the reset. Eventually, trucks roll again, stations restock, life returns. But the people who felt the gap, they remember, they adjust, they don't go back to autopilot. Because now they understand, the system works, until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, preparation is the difference between calm and chaos. The real lesson. A 48-hour gas shortage isn't the end of the world. It's a preview of how quickly things can shift. It teaches you that convenience is not guaranteed, that supply chains are thinner than we assume, that independence depends on more systems than we usually realize. But it also teaches you something more important. You're more capable than you think. When the trucks stop, you don't need a bunker, you need a plan, you need awareness. You need to understand that the difference between calm and chaos is just a few simple decisions made before the strain hits. The next time the gas runs out, you won't be the one in line at 2 a.m. hoping the pumps turn back on. You'll be the one who already filled up, who already has options, who already knows what to do. And that's not prepping, that's just paying attention. Strains like this will happen again. The only question is, will you notice before everyone else does?